March 2017. Archaeologists continue to dig under the pyramid complex in an attempt to answer the many mysteries of Teotihuacan. The discoveries of liquid mercury, walls lined with mica, and strange artifacts like the golden spheres point to the possibility that an advanced society once occupied this city. But some researchers suggest even greater clues can be found by examining the layout of the entire complex. 3 of the major structures contained within Teotihuacan have been found to line up with the 3 belt stars of Orion, a connection that is also mirrored in the layout of the pyramids at the Giza Plateau in Egypt. And the positioning of the main thoroughfare, known as the Avenue of the Dead, is directed toward the Pleiades star cluster. But perhaps the most intriguing connection was proposed in the 1970s by American engineer Hugh Harleston Jr.
In 1972, Hugh Harleston undertook a study of the site, and he was trying to determine mathematically if he could break down or discover a standard unit of measure at Teotihuacan. The conclusion that Harleston came up with in all his measurements, he found consistent numbers, and he discovered that they reflected mathematical principles that involved units, intervals, and the spacing of the planets.
He found the actual derivation of the solar system with the planets, their correct distances from one another, actually laid out in the spacings of the monuments at this complex.
Harleston noted that the intervals between the major structures corresponded exactly to the distances between the various planets.
There is a very clear rationale for the positioning of these artifacts, and it's only once you get into their measurements that you start to see compelling proof that this is intended to be an accurate map of our solar system.
Even the distance of the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter was correctly plotted by the diversion of the San Juan River through the site.
Harleston believed that a man-made canal that was cut through Teotihuacan represented the asteroid belt, which was not something known to ancient peoples. Whoever built Teotihuacan, they had full knowledge of our solar system and knowledge that ancient people could not have had.
3.5 miles away, on top of the Cerro Gordo mountain range, Harleston also located the ruins of the Temple of Xochitl, which fell directly in sightline of the Avenue of the Dead.
Harleston believed that this temple was mathematically showing that there was a planet beyond Pluto, twice as far as Pluto, that was somehow orbiting around our solar system.
Curiously, in 2016, planetary scientists from the California Institute of Technology announced that they had found preliminary evidence of the existence of an unknown planet beyond Pluto. Would such a revelation give further credence to the idea that the inhabitants of Teotihuacan had intimate knowledge of our solar system, and that the site served as an ancient spaceport, one that might still be active today? May 4th, 2015. A tourist visiting the ancient pyramid complex of Teotihuacan takes a photograph featuring the Pyramid of the Sun. He thinks nothing of it until he later reviews the photo and notices 2 strange objects hovering over the pyramid. Upon closer examination, they appear to be silver disc-shaped craft.
What's strange about the 2 UFOs photographed above the Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan is that only 10 seconds later, a second photograph was taken and those 2 objects were gone. So clearly, we're not talking about mylar balloons here. There's nothing floating in the sky anymore, and if they would have been Mylar balloons, well, they don't move that fast to just disappear.
There has been a long history of UFO sightings and unusual events in Teotihuacan, particularly around the pyramids, which perhaps are somehow attracting UFOs and extraterrestrials. And you would think that this is some kind of energy device. And the pyramids around the world could be projecting energy, and that power could be used by airships, by other devices.
Could the pyramids found around the globe be in some way interconnected, serving as components of a worldwide energy grid? If so, might the truth about who oversaw their construction and for what purpose expose a connection to an advanced extraterrestrial race that predates mankind's earliest known civilizations?